Garo has taken God's power and finally achieved his ultimate evil form, but Blast and Boros are on the way. The next few chapters of One Punch Man are going to be apocalyptic. I can't wait. So we're going to talk about what is going to happen here in this world-ending battle between two titans. Now, it appears that Garo, as he stands off with Saitama, is about to begin the final battle. We had questioned for a while whether each of these new forms that Garo seemed to get every single week was his final ultimate form, but even in his big gargoyle state with 4 arms, Saitama made quick and easy work with him. Yes, he did survive some punches from Saitama, but Saitama was not trying. He was not taking it serious. He's going easy on Garo because Terrio asked him to. And in this battle, if it does go straight into Saitama versus God Garo, we're gonna finally get a glimpse of what God's true powers actually are. Garo, who is already the strongest monster in the entire series, next to maybe Boros, is going to get an infusion of power from God, which will make him exponentially stronger, potentially thousands and thousands of times stronger than he already was being at the top. And we know of this power increase because of when we look at Homeless Emperor, a regular human, after taking the power of God, became a monster cadre, above dragon level, one of the strongest monsters in the entire series to date. So imagine if you're already that level and then you get the infusion of God, how much power you're going to get. This is extremely exciting. It's possible, unlikely, but possible, we may actually see Saitama flinch a little bit here in this battle with Garo. I think it's without question that Garo, who was able to obliterate mountains and pierce through the earth before he took God's power, now should be stronger than Boros. And this is an age-old question that fans have been wondering, is Garo from the webcomic stronger than Boros? And very interestingly, we could in fact get that battle because Boros and Blast are coming to Earth. They recognize that the magnetic fields of Earth have been shifted, and this is somehow breaking the barrier that is sealing God. They're on their way to Earth, and we could potentially get some all-out war. We could see Blast versus God Garo, Boros versus God Garo, or any of these other new fighters that are coming with Blast, potentially all team up and take on God Garo together. Or we could get some 1v1 battles. I think for fans, and Murata and One know this, we love the fan service. I think it's very interesting that they brought Boros back, or at least someone like him from his species. It could be a Boros from another dimension, and the simple fight between God Garo and Boros is going to answer the age-old question, who is stronger? And I think that's undoubtedly God Garo. But we might get a little tidbit of that in here just for the fans, and I think that would be absolutely awesome. But what I want to see way more than that is Blast versus God Garo. We've seen some of Blast's potential. He's faster than Flashy Flash, the fastest hero next to Saitama. He can create pocket dimensions, he can create black holes, presumably has superhuman strength, similar to even Saitama's, and that's only a small taste of his latent potential. So for these two titans of the series, God Garo and Blast, we have not seen what they're capable of yet, and these are levels that are so far beyond anything that we've seen from One Punch Man. This battle was not in the webcomic. Blast is rarely ever in the webcomic, and he's shown up a lot here in the One Punch Man manga. Additionally, in the One Punch Man webcomic, Garo did not fuse with God. There's very little mentions at all of God in the webcomic, so this is an all-new super-powered Garo with the potential to go up against the rank 1 hero Blast, both of which have potentially world-ending capabilities. They could be galaxy busters for all we know, or potentially even more. And the reason that I think that they're going to fight is 1, the fan service, and 2, because in the webcomic before Garo and Saitama had their final battle, the S-rank heroes all grouped up and team attacked against Garo in one final stand. At that point, Awakened Garo took them all out, and then the battle with Saitama commenced. But we didn't get that in the One Punch Man manga. So instead of all the S-rank heroes who are right now all passed out and out of energy, instead of them, we could get Blast and his galactic crew versus God Garo, which would make more sense now because they have come to stop God, and it very well could end with the altercation of Blast versus God Garo. Now, I just don't see Blast losing to God Garo this early early, perhaps they have to leave for some reason. Blast has been so hyped up in this series. He is the most Chad character there is. We've only seen a glimpse of his power and it seems absolutely ridiculous, like on par with Saitama. So I don't know exactly how he could even lose. And if he's going to win against God Garo, then what's the point of Saitama even fighting God Garo? I think at the very least we may see Boros versus God Garo, and God Garo would win there. Maybe Blast will come in for one hit or one cool ability. Maybe he'll just take everyone and escape because it's too dangerous. Or maybe out in space somewhere God will start to do something and he'll need to take everyone away, leaving the only fighter left to be Saitama. So somehow we have to get to the point of God Garo versus Saitama. But I think at the very least, Blast and company are going to come and interrupt this fight, see the influence of God over Garo, and obviously because their entire goal is to stop God, they're going to want to fight Garo. They're not going to leave too much trust in Saitama. They don't know who he is or any of his feats or strength yet. So I think that they'll have to take the helm and say, we're going to fight him. And I could see God Garo potentially taking out the rest of Blast's crew because we don't know how strong they are yet, but we do have a lot of insight as to Blast's potential and capabilities and strength. He's an extremely mysterious character. He's super powerful. And my main point is Blast is something that everybody's looking forward to later on in the series. He's one of the biggest question marks in One Punch Man, and I don't think that they could just make him lose this early in the series and leave anything left to look forward to if he's just going to simply lose to God Garo. Besides, they're out there in space fighting the actual God, who's probably infinitely stronger than even God Garo, so if they can take him on, taking God Garo on shouldn't be as much of a problem, you would think. And I think also, just for the sake of fans and the writing, Blast and company can't do too much damage to God Garo. They'll probably have to lose for the most part, otherwise the battle between God Garo and Saitama won't feel as fair. Right now, God Garo is healed up to full, he just got the infusion of God, and the battle with Saitama is about to begin, so we don't want God Garo to take damage or lose energy before he fights Saitama. We want him at his maximum potential so that we can see what happens against Saitama. So I think in that case, we'll probably get a short altercation. Perhaps Boros will get taken out by God Garo. Perhaps Blast will go to fix the magnetic fields of Earth to seal God back up. Hopefully that doesn't take God's power away from Garo because we want to see God Garo fight Saitama. And in the case that Blast and all the other galactic heroes are just standing on a mountain, watch Saitama fight God Garo, that could also be interesting because Blast would finally see what Saitama's true power actually is, see that he's able to go up against God, and he'd want to recruit Saitama for the galactic war on God. So if for some reason Blast and Boros and company don't engage with God Garo, but they do see Saitama's feats and the battle, this will lead into the final arc of One Punch Man, which is the war on God. And somehow, some way, Blast is going to have to see Saitama's true power so that he can recruit Saitama to go out into space with him and fight the final battle. Whatever the case, in the next coming chapters, we should get more information about God, his full potential, and get more explanations about Blast and his galactic crew, which is very, very exciting because, again, this is all fresh content to the One Punch Man manga. It did not happen in the webcomic, and on top of all of that, we're going to see the most incredible battle probably ever drawn in a manga, which is God Garo versus Saitama. We're going to get serious table flip, serious headbutt probably, and more just unbelievably exceptional artwork. I know for a fact that fans have been waiting for this big battle between Garo and Saitama for years and years, like 4 to 5 years they've been waiting for this, and I think that Murata may have just simply been trolling when he ended the chapter with Saitama and Monster Garo sitting at a table, which entirely threw fans off. So he changed the story, he rewrote chapter 164, and he ended it with God granting Garo power. And I think this also had something to do with fans simply being upset at the direction of the series. This isn't the Garo from the webcomic, we didn't get serious table flip yet, and fans were just simply like, what the heck is going on here? I think Murata and One's answer to all of that is changing the story that they were, for whatever reason, changing already. So now they're going to go back to the all-out war between Saitama and Garo and give us Basically the final battle. In any case, I'm extremely excited for this. You guys know how hyped up I get about One Punch Man. I want to learn more about Blast and God, and I want to see them all fight, and I want Saitama to be involved too. It's possible that Saitama sits on the sidelines while the old S-rank heroes, and now the new Galactic Federation of Heroes, take on God Garo for a little bit, but we definitely need to get into God Garo vs Saitama so that we can get that serious table flip that everybody is so damn excited for. I'm Mastar. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The new chapter will be out in about a week. Make sure you subscribe with notifications enabled because you're not going to want to miss it. This is peak One Punch Man and peak manga.